This land is known as Gunana, a good place to stay. Yeah, it feels like it calls me back because I like to be sitting under the oak trees on the beach. In the afternoon on weekends, Saturday and Sundays, I ask the little children around my area, can we go down and pick up some oysters today and sit at the beach? The little children are willing to come because they pick up their lines and then go to the reef. And that's where a lot of children get a lot of oysters and crabs. Sometimes little boys take spears and they can come back with crabs or other fish, you know.
Mornington Island itself is one of the 22 islands that make up the Wellesley Group in the southern Gulf of Carpentaria, about 450 kilometres north of Mount Isa. The island itself is about 700 square kilometres in size, and the population varies, but it's around about 1,200 people. The school itself has 309 students currently enrolled from pre-prep through to year 10. We have 23 teachers and 4 admin staff, a number of teacher aides, 16 to 20 depending on the time of year, and various other auxiliary staff that come from time to time to support the school.
Listening post. Wonderful.
It's important for all of us in the school, from the principal to the groundsman, to understand that these students are very capable. They live in an isolated community, and it's our job to ensure that they have a wonderful self-belief about who they are as learners. Yes, there are cultural factors on top of learning, which makes an interesting and a challenging environment. But our students are wonderful and are very capable of performing within our school structure. From my perspective as principal of the school, there's a few key things I'm looking for. The first one is I'm looking for someone who's flexible in their approach to their teaching. I'm looking for someone who's got very high expectations of student achievement, because our students can achieve and they're very capable of performing as well as any other student across Queensland. At this stage, where we've made a decision as a school to go with explicit teaching because we believe that's the best fit for our community. For us, it's about taking small steps and ensuring that we get each of those steps right, and not moving on to the next step which is really an explicit teaching model anyway, not moving on to the next step before everyone's ready to move to that step. So we're starting with spelling, because we believe that a strong spelling program based in explicit teaching is a great starting point. And once we've mastered that, we'll then move on to other elements of our learning process. We see it as a 3 to 4 year plan in embedding this in our practice every day in every classroom. Our expectation at Mornington Island is that every teacher visit every family at least once a term. We see this as being essential to building those strong partnerships with every student, and most importantly, having parents understand that this is learning is a triangular relationship between student, teacher and home. And the stronger those relationships are, then the better the learning is for our students.
So in the morning we always start with a bus run that goes from about 8 o'clock till about 10:30. So we go out and pick up all the kids in the community. We go up and down the bottom end, the top end. By about 9 o'clock, teachers start text messaging us students who are missing from their class. So we go directly to their home and ask the parents, where are the kids that day? And that's a much better method of just driving up and down the streets, and it works a lot. We really improve our attendance by doing that strategy.
Today's world, they have to learn the both. Go to do culture, then speak, come to school and do things in the school. But the good thing is come to school and learn and maybe be a good teacher one day, maybe be a good policeman, a good nurse.
The thing that you need to do when you come here is embrace the community. Get to know community, get to know the workings of the community, get to know all your teachers, because they're the people who support you all the way through. The admin team will look after you also. But come here with an open mind, open heart, and embrace the community. That's the best advice you could ever have.
Teamwork in our school community is very important. My expectation is that all teachers wear their uniforms, for example, most days, if not every day. If we have special events in our community, we address those events either in attendance or in other ways as a whole team. The teamwork approach is the basis of all that we do, and we have a dedicated person in our school who is responsible for ensuring that staff wellbeing and student wellbeing around teamwork is in place, so that we're, number one, we're addressing the needs of our community, and number two, and most importantly, we're respecting the needs of our community in terms of special events.
The Mornington Island Way is the way that we do business at Mornington Island. Our school is quite unique. It does come with expectations that you may not be expected to complete in other schools. For example, it is an expectation that you will go out and visit families and complete home visits, and this also includes positive home visits to inform parents how their students are going with their learning. It is a way of building those partnerships and relationships with community members. In regards to the pedagogical framework, it sits under the Mornington Island Way and is embedded into how you teach your lessons at Mornington Island State School. Once again, you'll be supported as to how this happens. It does have a specific language that once again is consistent across the school, and we do have even filming as to how to deliver the lessons and support you in getting it right in your classroom.
Our whole school pedagogical framework is based on our dimensions of teaching and learning, explicit teaching, and then down into our pedagogical strategies that come from that. So at Mornington Island State School, we implement explicit teaching. What we have done with the explicit teaching model, however, is contextualise that to our school. So, for instance, where other schools would have a warm-up, we have a deadly start. At the conclusion of the lesson, we have a section where instead of having a classroom talk, we have a yarn about what you have learnt. So it's about really contextualising the language of each section of the pedagogical framework in order to meet the needs of our students.
Our expectations around curriculum is that you will cater for every student's needs, that you will differentiate the curriculum, and this can be various levels in every class. It's also an expectation that you will make learning fun, and that your classroom will always be inviting and children will want to be at school every day, as attendance is our number one key priority. We have several curriculum programs across the school, and these are very explicit programs that have been strategically written, and they run right across the board from kindy to grade 10. This gives us a consistency. It builds routine within the classrooms. It also ensures that children are learning the best that they can every day. The curriculum programs are easy to follow. You will have lots of support in implementing them in your classrooms. We will go through those explicitly with you. You will be modelled how those curriculum programs can run, and we can also release you to watch and observe other teachers implement these programs within your classroom.
We do have to acknowledge that our students are mostly coming from an ESL background, an English as a second language background, and as such the way in which we teach and the way in which we implement the curriculum does change slightly. One thing I'd like to emphasise though is that we have the exact same expectations in terms of our learning and in terms of our student outcomes at Mornington Island State School as we would for any other school in Queensland.
We recently just went through a behaviour audit at our school, and we received excellent results. It was very positive. Our behaviour is very minimal now, and teachers all work together consistently to improve behaviour across our school. There are a few key areas that I'd like to talk about in regards to our SWPBS program in our school. The most important thing is that your learning environment is the best that it possibly can be. And in particular in the early years, getting children to school, making them want to come to school and making coming to school every day part of their routine. So if children are learning and their educational outcomes are at a sound to a high level, then there will be minimal behaviour within the classrooms. School-wide positive behaviour support has been implemented across our school, and it is responsible for delivering consistent behaviour expectations, resulting in a positive, settled and social and learning culture. So we have 4 school rules, and the school rules are: I belong, I am safe, I am a learner, and I am respectful. And these form a platform for the development of a strong positive culture, building school identity and pride.
You know what I really like is some people are being very careful about the way that they're putting their paint on, and they're really thinking about showing the colours really beautifully.
Teaching is quite a delight here. The kids are very responsive, they're very willing to find out new information, they like to be busy, so there's lots of opportunity to teach them a great range of skills and ideas and concepts. The relationships here are really essential to being able to not only achieve the teaching goals, but also to gain the trust of the community and the children, so that they feel comfortable with you.
At Mornington Island State School, our kids have access to the same learning that kids can do in the mainland, so our expectations are the same. We expect that they achieve as high as they can. We also differentiate and cater for all their learning needs. There's children that are at all different levels, and we try and engage them with a variety of learning activities that can help them achieve the best of their ability.
It's really important to build relationships with the kids and their families especially, because they need to know that you care. That's one of the hugest things with these families, is that if the parents know that you care about their children, they're more likely going to send their kids to school and get an awesome education.
The only way our classrooms function is by having those high expectations. I know when I go into my classroom, I expect those kids, my students at Mornington, to have a high expectation from me, what they expect from me as a teacher, what relationships I build with them. So I want them to know that it's it goes both ways. I expect them to come to school, and I expect them to want to do their best and to work hard. Without that expectation, they don't have that self-belief that they can actually achieve something. It's not even about them achieving better than the average, it's about them believing they can achieve better than the average. Because it's really hard for students sometimes to believe that they can go above and beyond, or that they can actually have those dreams of, whatever they want to do in the future, or hey, I could actually, it's a scary place to step from this is where I am to I actually believe I can go and, go further than than back here. And that's why I think high expectations are important.
Stretching out the word. Yes, we're stretching out that word, Jaylee.
Building a relationship with your teacher aide will be the most important thing that you can do in your career. The teacher aides bring a wealth of knowledge and information that we do not know here on the island. They will support you in everything that you need them to do. They are fantastic with helping you go on home visits, meeting families. If you're not sure where a student is, they will often know and give you information that we would always find difficult to find. Our teacher aides at times can be quiet, reserved and a little bit shy. So it is important that you continue to talk to them, encourage them to participate in the lessons within the day, encourage them to come back to your class and help you. And it is also extremely important that you tell them how much you value them coming to school every day.
It is a big learning curve, but it's a really fun learning curve, and we have such a great team here at Mornington that everyone's really supportive.
The professional development model that we have in place at our school, I believe, is second to none. This year we're running a leadership program, identifying and targeting people across the school who would like to be promoted somewhere down the track. We run a strong coaching model in our school. We have a teaching coach who will work with teachers, but we also have leadership coaches as well who will work with aspiring leaders in the first instance to explore their leadership potential, because that journey really starts from within. I would probably suggest that the professional development that teachers at Mornington Island undertake on a yearly basis are as good as anywhere else in any other school in Queensland, and I dare say Australia. Because of our remoteness, we spend a lot of time and effort ensuring that our teachers are up to date and are well equipped to go into classrooms and teach effectively.
Mornington Island support is fantastic. Just the team it's a team. You go into this school and you're sort of just surrounded automatically by a team of teachers, and then you've got your admin team as well. And I think that's been one of the greatest support for me, having teachers that I can go to. I don't even have to go to these teachers. They will just sit down in the staff room, we'll be talking and they'll have ideas flowing, and why don't you do this? Oh, well, if you need help with this, I've got that. I feel like the team's a massive part. My teacher aides have been huge, just knowing, like, if I ask questions about the kids, what's happened on the weekend, do they know anything about, or where's their family, that sort of stuff. They've been fantastic.
In our school, Mornington Island is unique to a point because we've employed somebody over and above our staff allocation in our school. Her role, she's a very experienced lady, both at life and in the profession of teaching. She's spent a lot of time in remote communities, and particularly I think the last 7 or 8 years on Mornington Island. Her role officially is student and staff wellbeing. So during the school day she works with families and parents and teachers to ensure that students are in the right space for learning. Outside school hours, Mary's role is to coordinate various events that we have, to work with teachers if they have issues around living arrangements or organising to pay bills or buy food from the shops or not knowing things, coordinating events so we have a chance to build a team and get to know each other really well.
I'm Mary, and my role in the school is to be head of student staff welfare, with emphasis on the staff. And yes, I do come to school every day in a different hat, whether it be Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse. You're just as likely to find me with different shoes on different feet, long socks, pair of braces and ties. And it's all about relationships, because my job is really about the subject of relationships. Relationships are really important because we are isolated. All right, we live in a fishbowl. We basically go to work together, we socialise together, we go to the one shop together, you meet everybody. Doesn't matter where you go, you actually run into someone. You're looking for a quiet moment to go down on the jetty. There's really not such a thing as a quiet moment. You get down the jetty and there's probably 10 other teachers looking for that quiet moment. And so it's about teamwork. We really have to work as a team here, and that's not always easy because you come to the island, you have to live with people that you may never choose to live with, all right? And then you're in that situation, and then when you find yourself in trouble, you don't have those friendship bases to run to, you don't have mum and dad to go to, you don't have that aunt to go to. And so my role is very much about being that maybe that friend that you'd normally go to, often about being the mum, the other mum, or a lot of the young ones call me their other mum. I think I'm getting to the stage of being their grandmother though. And so my role is unique. I think I really am only one that exists within the process. I'd love to see one in every school. As far as the remoteness goes.
So the support here has been absolutely amazing at the school. I've got my head of departments, my HOCs, both the principal, deputy principals, they're all absolutely beautiful people. They will come around to my house if they know I've had a tough day and been like, are you doing okay? How do you want to chat? And that's awesome because it's not just an internal, they don't ignore you once you've left the school. So it's actually a huge family here. All the teachers are more than happy to share resources, share ideas. If you want to bounce ideas off them, feedback, everything. Like, it's been absolutely phenomenal.
I'll see you on Tuesday.
It's very technical. We have our conveyor toaster. We take it from the conveyor and bring it over here. And we have the choice of butter, Vegemite, peanut butter, or jam. So the kids can have as much toast as they like, and they also get a milk to go with that. Come on in, Travis.
Morning, Travis. How you going?
Thank you, Travis.
There you go, my dear. Have a great day. You're welcome.
What did you have on your toast? You did. Was it nice? And did you say thank you?
Good job for saying thank you.
Thank you, Ezra.
Have a great day, Ezra.
Hi, I'm Acting Senior Sergeant Murray Jensen, the current Acting Officer in charge of the Mornington Island Police Station. And first of all, welcome to Mornington Island. If you're coming this way, we look forward to catching up with you. There's just a couple of things that I wanted to explain and maybe clarify for you as you're coming or considering coming this way. First of all, the Alcohol Management Plan, or AMP as it's known. It's important that you have an understanding of that. It's very simple here on Mornington Island. There's a 0 carriage limit, which means that you're not allowed to have any alcohol on the island or in the Mornington Shire unless it's covered by a restricted area permit. And the only place on Mornington Island that has a restricted area permit is the Birri Fishing Lodge, which is approximately a 25-minute drive out of town. So that means that you're not allowed to be in possession of liquor or alcohol. You're not allowed to bring liquor in on the plane or via any other mail or transport like that. And unfortunately, if you do get caught with alcohol, then it is a criminal offence and you'll be required to attend court. The other thing that I always like to mention is the fact that even though we're in a very remote community, the law here is exactly the same. So that means the laws relating to registration, driver's licensing, good order offences, public intoxication, all that sort of thing, all the same here as they are on the mainland or in the bigger cities. So it's important that you change the address on your licence, you change the address on your registration, that sort of thing. There are some concessions being such a remote location, such as not needing to have a roadworthy certificate on your vehicle and that sort of thing. However, that's something that we'd love to explain to you. If you have any questions about that, come in, talk to us and we can sort all that out. But the main thing is exactly the same rules, legislation and laws that you're used to on the mainland. The other thing is that we do love to catch up with the teachers and the nurses and any other service providers. It's important on such a remote location and in such a tight-knit and small community that we have great working relationships, but also great social relationships where we can catch up, maybe go out to Birri for a drink, go fishing, that sort of thing. So we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to come over and say g'day, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
One of the unique things about the culture here on Mornington Island, and certainly the Aboriginal culture, is about sharing. And one of the great things about the people from Mornington Island is they are very happy to share their land with you and their culture with you. So after you ask permission, one of my favourite places is actually White Cliffs, and we went up there with one of the local community members, and they taught us how to hunt the mud crab traditionally. So we went up and we speared some of the mud crab at White Cliff, which was absolutely wonderful. The sunsets up there are to die for. They're absolutely incredible. So White Cliffs is a place that's certainly special to myself and lots of my children in the class. When I'm able to talk to them and share stories, we can relate to the same places that we've been to. Gold Cliffs is a wonderful spot. You can see out a long way into the ocean, which is incredible. So sometimes we go up there with some of the locals and we might spot some of the sharks and things in the water from such a high spot up there. Being an artist, I'm always out and about, and I go off and draw and take photos of things, and so I'm learning about what a scientific name for something would be, but then there will be a local name for that bird or that animal, and so building that language bank is really interesting because there are 3 languages spoken here, so sometimes one word can be used for many things, or one word can be meaning different things. So that's a big learning curve too. And it's, the kids will come down and sit by you down on the beach and tell you something, tell you how to cook shark fat, or tell you how to cook this fish, or which island they go to get turtle eggs from, and those things aren't necessarily written down. So there's a huge oral history and oral knowledge that is still passed on just by sitting and talking with people, and that's a very traditional practice, and it's really lovely to be a part of that practice.
A lifestyle challenge that I've had is the isolation that you've got here, not being able to go to a coffee shop and grab a coffee, not being able to go to the shop and just grab what you want when you want it. So being here, one of the biggest things that I've had to learn to develop is organisation. You can get Coles online and it does get brought over on the barge. You can get fresh fruit and vegetables. It's all accessible, you just have to be organised. So that's a great skill to have in life anyway.
It is remote. You can't just, if you've had a bad week and you're like, I just want to get away, I just want to go see family, you can't do that. It's not that easy. So that's probably been a bit of a challenge. But in saying that, it stretches you because you start to think, okay, well, what can I do right now to make sure that I'm filling my emotional tank? Where can I go? And because of those challenges, you start to see some of the beautiful places around Mornington Island, or you start to communicate with some of the people in the community because you just get out. You just have to get out of your little 200-metre radius and go see other parts. So I'd say that's probably been one of the hardest challenges, being away from family and friends. That is difficult. There are a lot of positives. I think just knowing that you're a part of something so much bigger than the school, like our community is every aspect of it. I love that. I love knowing that I'm not just going to school being a teacher at the school and then no one sees me for the rest of the week. It's like I'm a teacher at school, I'm a teacher when I go to the shop, I'm a teacher when I'm going fishing on the weekend, I'm a teacher when I meet kids down at the jetty. I love that part. I love the culture. I love that sort of stuff. It's what drives me.
Okay. So the characteristics that I look for in a teacher to come and to do well here at our school is somebody who is enthusiastic, willing to learn through their career, willing to work with Indigenous students, and love them the way that we all love them at Mornington Island, and just see the benefits of working and learning with our students.
The best teachers who are achieving the best results at Mornington Island are those who have a really clear and open understanding of the students that they serve and the community that they serve. And that's about being involved in community activities, not just in school hours, but outside school hours on weekends. You'll find the community very open and very willing to share their wonderful culture and wonderful lifestyle with our staff. And teachers who embrace that on a daily basis with an open heart and an open mind are the teachers who are achieving the best results in our school.
It's also somebody who's flexible and somebody who's willing to work as a team. Being a team player is the most important part of Mornington Island State School. We are a small team. We don't have a lot of extra help at Mornington Island, and we need to always pull together and support each other.
When you get to the island, see it, be in it, experience every part of it. Don't be afraid, because the people around you want you to be there. The community wants teachers to be there educating their kids. They have high expectations for their kids and they need you to be a part of that.